Oh, he's the Shove It Man!
Shove It Squad. Today it's one of those times where I just say screw it. I watched every WCW hardcore title match and I deserve a reward for suffering for all of that. So today I'm treating myself to a Ring of the Hawk Season 3 competitor of my choice. And I know this is going to be an incredibly fun video to make. You can all thank the Hawk after, but don't use your words, send your girl over and I'll split her into thirds. And of course,
if you know a wrestler who could do the J.O.B. to the H.J.W.K. any night, any day, ha ha, shove their name in the comments, Jack.
Okay, it's Hamada. Will she make my beak harder? Hamada was already a 10-year veteran by the time she signed with TNA. This was not one of those times where a Japanese talent was sent to TNA for work experience. This was all her own doing. I guess she wanted to try somewhere else other than Japan or Mexico. Match 1, no DQ match, Zombie Hot Daphne. I know I said recently there may be a new video about her, stay tuned, it's coming. And she takes on Hamada. If you're wondering why it's an extreme match in her debut, it's apparently simply because Hamada requested it to be. She has a presence about her. It's good to see they didn't give her the Amori music that TNA give all the Japanese wrestlers. Daphne jumps her as soon as the bell rings. She does a hair-mare takedown followed by a neck snap. Daphne gets a 2 from that. Hamada and Daphne exchange chops which nobody really wins. Daphne goes running and gets a big kick to the face. Vicious aggressive stomps in the corner from Hamada now. Cool bit now as Daphne is sent to the ring apron and then Hamada delivers a nice back kick to the face. We come back from an advert break with Daphne back in control. She drops from the top rope with an elbow drop for a 2. Hamada realises she's losing on her debut, so she kicks Daphne in the face, followed by an enziguri kick to the face. Hamada's striking game is destroying Zombie Hot here. A big jumping DDT from Hamada gets a 2. She tries to go back to her kicking game, but she misses it and Daphne smashes her with a Shining Wizard, that's a 2. And out of the ring we go. This is a no DQ match, and we haven't seen anything from that yet, but Daphne now remembers. She tries a steel chair shot, but misses and hits the post. Hamada wraps her head to the chair and then launches her into the post. Hamada gets Daphne set up on the table, and she climbs to the top rope and damn, it's a moonsault through the table. Yes, this is TNA in 2009, the Hawk has not lost the plot. The match isn't even over, we're back in the ring now. Hamada beats Daphne in the centre of the ring with a Michinoku driver. What a debut. They don't get much better than that, it's an A hidden gem from the TNA knockouts. Match 2, tag match. Some jobber Bolt teams up with Hamada. She does that funny pose at the camera. This is pretty much all I recall from her TNA run. They take on the team of Tara and Christy Hemme, accompanied by Poison the Spider. Worth pointing that out. Hamada starts out with Tara. They keep trading go-behinds. Eventually Hamada is pushed at the ropes and bounces backwards to roll into a nice bridging pin for a 2. They keep picking each other's legs and trading pinfalls. It's quite an impressive start. Tara is an idiot and bows at Hamada and she pays with a kick to the face. Hamada's sent running now and she springs off the ropes with a lion salt into Tara. Unfortunately she tags in some jobber for a bit. Hamada gets back in against Christy and she flies off the top of the double axe, quickly followed by a kick to the face. An advert break ruins any momentum we had. When we come back, Hamada is hit with an inverted DDT by Hemme. Tara kills some jobber with the Widow's Peak for the 3. Bit of an anticlimactic finish. Seems like a weird way to display Hamada after that incredible first match. Still, it's always fun when Hamada is in the ring. Oh, I spoke too soon. Hamada is a bad loser and takes out some jobber with the driver. Okay, pretty cool, so we're getting some storyline character work too. She's still a face, but she just doesn't like losing. This one's a B, very enjoyable as a whole. Hamada is randomly interviewed in a dark stand with a translator. Alyssa Flash interrupts the interview and says she takes offence to TNA pushing foreign talent. She is unhappy with her place on the card. She asks what she has to do to get an interview around here. Hamada responds saying, win a match. They brawl in the stands. If you forgot this feud ever happens, I don't blame you. Hamada is thrown down the metal steps. It's like something out of ECW. I'm kidding, it's not that extreme. The fight is broken up. Pretty intense stuff from the women here. Match 3, Elimination Tag. The beautiful people Velvet and Madison team up with Tracy Brooks and Alyssa Flash, who looks like a boss by the way. And they take on Taylor Wilde, Christy Hemme, Sarita and Hamada. Some serious talent in this match by women's wrestling standards 2009. Hamada once again starts this match, this time with Tracy Brooks. She takes her down straight away with a single leg. Seconds later she misses her middle rope moonsault. Tracy tries to sunset flip her, which doesn't work either. Hamada misses her follow-up kick and she's rolled up for a 1 count. Hamada gets annoyed now and super kicks her and tags out. She next gets in the ring against Alyssa Flash. She flies through the air with a missile dropkick on her. No cover is made and they trade shots in the middle of the ring. Hamada decides to go running and she boots Alyssa out of the ring. They brawl all over the place until they're both counted out of the match. This is now a feud. The match is won by Madison Rayne after Lacey Von Botch interferes and hits a choke slam. Match wasn't much, it's a D. Match 4, Falls Count Anywhere match. Hamada versus Alyssa Flash who jumps her from behind. Straight away, Alyssa monkey flips her on the ramp and boots her down the rest of it. A cover is made, but it's just a 2. Alyssa wastes ages getting a table set up and they both tease getting sent into it, but nobody does yet, because Hamada super kicks her down. Hamada looks for a moonsault, but she's yanked off the ring apron. Flash starts stamping Hamada's face into the floor for another 2. We head back up the ramp now, the crowd are electric for this one. Hamada ends up pushing her off the ramp, which doesn't look like much, but I'll tell you what does. Hamada hitting a cannonball off the ramp. Who expected her to hit the cannon perk? We're back to teasing the table again, but yet again no one's going for it as Hamada hits a spin kick. Alyssa Flash yet again stops Hamada from diving and she teases a suplex through the table. Instead, Hamada fights her off and DDTs her on the apron. And once again Hamada will try the dive. Yes, third time lucky, Hamada moonsault through the table and that is the 3. Another excellent match from Hamada.
Man.
She's looking like a real star here. It's another A. Match 5, 6 women's tag. The beautiful people Lacey, Velvet and Madison take on ODB, Hamada and Christy Hemme. Hamada will not start this one. I'm not expecting much here, the competition won't be able to keep up. Hamada joins the match with Velvet and she wants to dive on her, but she runs away screaming to Madison. Hamada rolls at Madison and kicks her in the gut. It's an enziguri kick now, which Madison can kick out of. After a scoop slam, Hamada wants to dive, but she can't and she's shoved off the top rope. Madison almost rolls her up for the 3 from that. Double team Russian leg sweep from the beautiful people now for another 2. Velvet somehow gets another 2 off the drop kick to the face. Surprisingly, Hamada is the one they've isolated. Lacey Von Botch helps Madison throw Hamada into the corner. Madison is relentless with her pin attempts, but they aren't good enough. Finally, a double drop kick takes the beautiful people out and she's able to tag ODB. The match is won by Lacey Von Erich, whilst for some reason Hamada just watches on. It looks stupid. Maybe she was confused on the rules. It looks so dumb. She just didn't have much chance in this one, let's be honest. It was actually better than expected, but it's nothing more than a D. Match 6. This one is unlike the last one because it actually has potential to be good. It's Tara taking on Hamada in a singles match. They trade arm drags and hip tosses. Then they trade takedowns. The crowd are only slightly impressed by this. Hamada starts throwing headbutts, but she runs straight into a Tara clothesline. She's now scoop slammed and hit with a standing ass-shake moonsault. Hamada manages to fight back from the ring apron. She takes Tara's arm and starts doing a rope walk, but she doesn't pray. It ends with an arm drag. A quick enziguri smashes Tara into a really nice rolling cradle pin. High ankle back suplex from Hamada now. I'm enjoying this one. Hamada looks to win with the moonsault, which she can't hit as Tara gets her knees up. The Widow's Peak ends it when it was just starting to get good. Really nice range of offense from Hamada, and that's something we like to see on Ring of the Hawk. A really fun match, but it was too short to be anything more than a C. Match 7, singles match. Hamada takes on Taylor Wilde, who works at a sunglasses hut between matches. Headlock takeover from Taylor, followed by Hamada doing the same thing. They both sort of kip up, but Hamada can't really do it. The pace quickens now, they're both running and jumping everywhere until Wilde hits a head scissors. Hamada runs straight back at her to crush her with a DDT, which is a 2 count. Taylor reverses her next move, grabs her arm and runs and dives from the top with a drag. Another page from Hamada's book is a kick to the head. Hamada super kicks her back straight away and moonsault from the top. Shockingly, that's just a 2. Another couple of reversals now as Taylor reverses a powerbomb into a pin. She immediately takes Hamada down with a crucifix pin for yet another 2. Hamada tries another powerbomb and yet again Taylor reverses it and rolls her up. Hamada shuts her down with an enziguri. Some more reversals follow until Hamada knocks her off her game with a big spin kick. And there it is, Hamada driver to end the match. Love that one, really nice. Lots of reversals and pinning attempts, no botches and well wrestled. The third kip up doesn't count, it's a B. Match 8, number 1 contenders battle royal. Most of the girls don't get an entrance and that includes Hamada. Daphne and Hamada battle again, but it doesn't really last long. Hamada headbutts her and eliminates her straight away. Not really much to say. Randomly, Taylor Wilde wraps her legs around Hamada's neck and she eliminates both herself and Hamada. Match is won by Tara. Bad choice, I feel like Hamada should have been winning this one. Just one elimination for Hamada, it's a D. Match 9, singles match. Hamada takes on one of the Hawks' favourites, Sarita. This one should be good. Lots of arm drags to start us off, including one where Hamada bounces off the middle rope into an arm drag. Sarita charges at her, but she's thrown into the air but comes out of it with an arm drag of her own. They both attempt drop kicks at the same time, and this standoff gets a good crowd reaction. Hamada dodges Sarita's knee, but then Sarita dodges Hamada's kick. Wow, really nice move now. It looks like an electric chair drop from Hamada, but at the last moment Sarita turns it into a hurricanrana. That annoys Hamada, who super kicks her for a 2. Hamada looks to go high risk, and the missile drop kick connects. Yet another 2. The Hamada driver is reversed into a pin. Very close to a 3, but it isn't. This match is breathless. As soon as Hamada gets up, she's hit with a float over DDT. Sarita trips her down and wraps Hamada up in some sort of submission. That doesn't last 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, and it's now Hamada with a rolling pin for a 2. When they make it back to their feet, Hamada flattens her with 2 spin kicks, and the Hamada driver ends it. I wish it could have gone longer, extremely fun match. Not much separates it from that Taylor Wilde match, so it's another B. Match 10. Randomly, an intergender match for the TNA Global title. The challenger is Hamada taking on the champion Eric Young. Wasn't expecting this one. Hamada rallies the crowd behind her. It doesn't help and she's pushed into the corner and patted on the head. Yet again, Eric Young shoves her into the corner. Young breaks the hold and he doesn't see the Hamada kick coming, which knocks him out of the ring. On the outside, she headbutts him. She looks for a quick win back in the ring, but Young shuts her down. He climbs to the top when out of nowhere he's kicked by Hamada. She joins him on the top and snaps off a Frankensteiner. Pretty cool, but it's just a 2. A scoop slam from Hamada now as she looks for the moonsault. Unfortunately, she misses it and Eric Young pins her with his feet on the ropes. That is the 3. You may have noticed Eric Young did not strike her or hit any moves. This was a way TNA liked to get around the network's no violence against women rule. It only went for a minute and it was a really fun minute, but it can't be anything more than a D. Match 11, triple threat tag. Madison and Velvet of Lacey versus Awesome Kong and Hamada. I guess it's not actually that random that they're teamed together. They both spent a lot of time wrestling and being based in the Orient. They also take on Sarita and Taylor Wilde. Kong starts for her team, but she tags Hamada in early. She monkey flips Sarita, who lands on her feet. Sarita quickly snaps off a nice head scissors with multiple revolutions. Hamada responds with an enziguri and Velvet forcefully tags in. She hits some weak kicks and a short DDT. She's too busy sticking her tongue out to make a pin. Madison joins and they want a double team. Unfortunately, the timing on their double drop kicks is off. The match breaks down now and completely out of nowhere, Hamada moonsaults to the outside. Seconds later, Awesome Kong attempts an awesome bomb, which Madison reverses, but she can't roll Kong into a pin, who lightly sits on her, and believe it or not, that's the 3. No way near long enough to be anything other than a D. Intriguing tag team though. Match 12. TNA are holding a number 1 contendership tournament for the Knockouts title, and all the matches will take place on the same night. The quarter-final match is Madison Rayne taking on Hamada. Madison with an inside roll straight away, and she looks really impressed with herself. Hamada starts working on her arm. Madison is able to arm drag Hamada off, who looks confused by that. Hamada loses her temper and kicks Madison in the face. Now it's the non-praying rope walk into an arm drag, which doesn't work. Not sure if this was a botch. Madison's now in firm control after throwing Hamada to the mat. She continues with a slow motion net breaker. She can't manage anything else as Hamada big boots her down for a double down. When they get up, it's a super kick. She tries a cover off a scoop slam, not sure why, it's just a 2. Now she tries her moonsault, which she misses, but she lands on her feet. Spin kick to Madison's face and the Hamada driver ends it. Just not great, but that might be partly down to her opposition. It's a D. At least she moves on in the tournament. I think this could be the start of something special. Match 13, semi-final, later that same night. Roxy Laveau, who has smashed up ribs, takes on our girl Hamada. Internet fans love Roxy, so this could be a good match too. Hamada goes behind and crushes her to the mat. Roxy rolls out of an armbar now. Roxy tries her own armbar back, which Hamada rolls out of and sweeps her legs out. She's almost got the John Cena special on for like a second. Quite a long feeling out process in this one. Hamada powers Roxy to the mat now. I suddenly realised how dumb Hamada working on her leg is when Roxy clearly has injured ribs. The submission doesn't work anyway. Pace quickens now as they both lightly knock into each other and look confused. They do it again and Hamada goes down. Now it's a trade-off with arm drags and drop kicks. Finally, Hamada zones in on the ribs and she puts on the abdominal stretch. She changes to an octopus stretch but releases the hold quickly. Something else new from Hamada is a double foot stomp from the top. She doesn't pin her, instead she puts on a single leg Boston Crab. Roxy doesn't tap. Hamada goes running now, but she runs straight into Roxy suplex. The match has turned and Roxy scores a big boot. They both end up on the top rope. Roxy fights her off, but Hamada quickly rolls and kicks her. We saw this one earlier and it's time now for the Frankensteiner. It's not a 3 though. Hamada will head up to the top again, this time to hit a beautiful missile dropkick with pinpoint accuracy to the ribs, like that one. Our hero tries some sort of wacky slam which Roxy reverses and almost rolls her up from it. A quick kick from Hamada shuts her down again. Now it's the Hamada driver, but no, that's reversed into a 2-count pin as well. Roxy hits her finisher, the voodoo drop, but hold your hawks, Hamada kicks out too. Roxy puts her in a submission, stretching her across her back and then falls backwards. That is not a 3 either. Excellent match this one. Another voodoo drop is attempted and Hamada has to headbutt her off. Then it ends to a weak looking roll up. Incredible stuff minus that weak finish. Giving this one another A. Surely this is her night and she wins this tournament. Match 14, tournament final. Our girl Hamada takes on ODB. It's all Hamada in the early game, plenty of strikes and a big running head scissors. She seems really up for putting on another show as she springs off the middle rope into a tornado DDT. ODB dumps in her thong and bails to the outside. Eventually she comes back as she's about to be counted out. Back in the ring, finally ODB does a float over and celebrates with happiness. Hamada kicks her in the face. A Mahistra cradle gets a 2 for Hamada. Another nice pin for another 2 follows. Hamada keeps going and scoop slams her and motions that she's going for a dive, but she's cut off and ends up in the Tree of Woe. Just some kicks really here from ODB. Hamada next has to fight out of a bear hug, which she does, and then she's thrown to the mat. ODB finally has full control. She nails the Scott Hall special, the sack of shit, and she kips up better than Hamada too. Back to the bear hug we go again. Hamada frees herself and hits the Inzaguri kick for a double down. It's non-stop headbutts from Hamada when they get up. She really wants to win this one. And it almost is over after the crossbody from the middle rope. Another 2 straight after from a spin kick. Hamada looks for the driver, which doesn't happen as she's cut off with the jawbreaker. Awesome Kong marches down the ramp carrying a table. She's the lady ODB beat to reach the final. Kong has the table set up on the outside and then she leaves. Hamada with a beautiful super kick, and that one looks like it actually hurt. ODB sent out the ring by that one, and Hamada hits cannon perk off the apron. She motions for the table, but I don't think this is a no DQ match. ODB is laid out flat on her back on the table, somewhere she's been before. Hamada goes for the moonsault, but she misses it and goes through the table. ODB gets her back in the ring and beats her with a TKO. Why? Hamada would have been a far better choice to go for a title shot. Still, 3 matches in one night, impressive. This was another great match, It's an A. I'm not going to let the annoying results spoil it for the squad. Match 15, Knockouts Tag Title match. The challengers Awesome Kong and Hamada who get a massive chant from the crowd to take on the champions Taylor Wilde and Sarita. So much talent in there right now. Hamada and Sarita start this one. The crowd are chanting, "You're all awesome." Different methods of arm drags are done before Hamada sweeps Sarita's legs out. Sarita arm drags her again and then nails a tornado DDT. Taylor joins the match with a dive into an arm drag. Sarita slows Taylor down with a knee to the gut. Sarita tries to stop her, which leads to Hamada springing off the ropes into a double arm drag. Nice. Kong gets the tag. Hamada doesn't want to leave the ring though, and Taylor Wilde has to force her to leave with a kick. Sarita and Taylor take their opponents out with stereo dives to the outside of the ring. When we come back from an advert break, Kong and Hamada are back in control. Hamada starts playing with the opponents, not letting Taylor make the tag to Sarita. Very heelish tactics from Hamada, or maybe she's just showing her confidence. Yeah, it's probably the second one. Kong fights next, but she doesn't do well and Hamada has to rush the ring with a big boot to Sarita. Sarita wakes up and tries a double crossbody. She's caught, and then for some reason Kong and Hamada lightly throw her down with Sarita trying to turn it into an arm drag, but too late. It doesn't look good. Taylor takes out Hamada with Hurricanrana. This one's too close to call. Hamada has now thrown Taylor into a steel post. Kong has Sarita up for a powerbomb. She motions for Hamada to dive off the top rope, but she spends a while waiting to dive because she isn't happy with her opponent's placement. Eventually it's a top rope drop kick into a powerbomb, and that's the 3, and new champions. Pretty nice, but there are a few clunky moments in there, it's a B. Shame it couldn't be for the main Knockouts title. Match 16, tag match, Madison Rayne and Velvet of Lacey Von Botch versus Hamada and Awesome Kong. Hamada has a pimp limp after that last match, I guess she's toughing it out. This match will not be like the last one, because it's short, and at the end of the day it's Velvet Sky. Madison and Velvet try a double Russian leg sweep, but they're too busy being wacky and Hamada tags Kong. It ends in less than 2 minutes to the Awesome Kong powerbomb, without Hamada doing a thing. It's the first S of the video. I'm guessing this match had something to do with Hamada working injured, but we don't know that for sure. Match 17, 6-woman tag. The beautiful people will take on the team of Hamada, Awesome Kong and Tara. One of these teams is not quite like the other. Let's find out if Hamada's over that injury. Madison is doing Scott Hall spooky fingers, so Hamada kicks her in the ass. Yep, I guess she's fine. She grabs Madison's arm and does the non-praying rope walk into an arm drag. Madison kicks her in the gut and tags Velvet in. They each take turns twisting Hamada's arm and they tag back out each time. It's not great to be honest. Hamada eventually does some forward rolls and a leg sweep which allows her to tag out. Hamada gets involved again a couple minutes later with a forward roll into a kick. She has kicks for all the beautiful people, they're all going flying. Tara slams Lacey which allows Hamada to moonsault. The ref is distracted and Madison hits Hamada twice with a stick. That's the 3. Just not good, it's a D because at least her kicks look great, but in reality, not a good match at all. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but Hamada doesn't speak English. She's still somehow funny though when she cuts promos in Japanese. I think it's her facial expressions, she's just a likeable person. Match 18, oh no, Knockouts Lockbox Challenge. 8 knockouts smashed together in the ring like morons hoping to collect a random key to a box, which either contains the Knockouts title, a spider, a match of your choice, or being forced to do a striptease. I guess this is the closest Hamada comes to a title shot, unfortunately. Nearly all the girls are pinned within seconds after one move. Hamada is literally eliminated during the advert break. It was because she missed a moonsault and Daphne put her away. I guess in a way it's good, because you wouldn't want to be associated with this horrible match either. It's an S. Awesome Kong is fired between these two matches for smacking out Bubba the Lard Sponge, and the belts are vacated. They explain it as Awesome Kong and Hamada didn't defend the belts for 30 days, even though it had only been 21 days at the time. Typical TNA. For whatever reason, Hamada was taken off TV for 4 months when this happened. I really have no explanation because she was wrestling house shows with TNA during this time. Match 19, Knockouts Tag Title. The champions, Lacey Von Erich and Velvet Sky, take on the team of Taylor Wilde, who's going for a bowl of salad dressing look at this time, and Hamada. Apparently Taylor was able to pick a partner of her choice, so she picked Hamada. Taylor's getting destroyed by Lacey, so she tags her friend in. I'm not sure what goes wrong here, but I think Hamada headbutted her and hurt Lacey for real. Because she reacts strangely to the chop, she just sort of cowers away from her. Velvet causes a distraction now, and when Hamada turns around, she gets a Lacey spin kick. Velvet is now legal and she does a snap mirror into a kick. Lacey gets the tag again and they keep sending Hamada into the corner, which eventually gets them a 2. Lacey strangely does a back spring into an elbow, which misses. Both girls stand still and stare at each other for a bit. I'm not sure what's going on here. Luckily, Taylor tags in because this isn't working. Taylor and Hamada take out the beautiful people with the do-si-do spot. A mysterious biker stands harmlessly at ringside, which causes everyone to stop and stare. Velvet Sky smacks the referee, which is somehow a ref bump, as Velvet and Hamada start a catfight out of the ring. Lacey gets a steel chair from the biker. She happily smiles and holds it up to her own face as Taylor Wilde smacks into it with a kick. Simply terrible, isn't it? And I know it's because Lacey's in there with them, but we've seen better against the beautiful people. I guess she's a tag champion again at least. No match for over a month now. This episode sure has turned for the worst. Match 20, Knockouts Tag Title match. The challengers, Madison Rayne and Lacey Von Erich with Tara, take on the team of Hamada and Taylor Wilde. Hamada smacks her ass to show unity, I guess, of her partner. A top rope diving sunset flip by Hamada is the most exciting thing I've seen in a while. Madison gets the tag and roughly boots Hamada in the face. Lacey back in with a handspring elbow drop, which does connect this time. She tries another one, which doesn't. For some reason, Hamada does a moonsault to Lacey, who kicks out at 1. It was probably just a botch. I just want this to end now. Hamada does get tagged in later and delivers 3 running boots to Lacey. Then the match ends to a double team Samoan drop neckbreaker combination. Slightly better than the last match. A C because it ended quickly at least. Match 21, final match, tag title match. Lacey Von Erich and Velvet Sky take on the champions, Hamada and Taylor Wilde. Lacey is beating Taylor so badly that she desperately has to tag out. She immediately arm drags Hamada a couple of times. Velvet joins the match with a weak diving elbow to Hamada's arm. Hamada turns the match around with a running big boot. Hamada's unable to connect with the moonsault and Velvet drop kicks Hamada over to her partner and the tag is made. Later on into the match, Hamada makes blind tag and she works with Taylor to hit a double team suplex for a 2 count. Enziguri kick from Hamada to Lacey. And now we get a brand new move and it's the final match. It's Hamada doing a fisherman suplex, but I'm pretty sure she hooks the wrong part of Lacey's leg to deliver it, so it looks really bad. But I'm sure someone who knows better than me can correct me in the comments section. I'm just convinced this was actually Hamada's fault. Velvet bulldogs Hamada and Lacey also kicks Hamada out of the ring into Velvet. Madison Rayne then sneaks out and hits Lacey with a motorbike helmet. That allows Taylor to hit a running kick for the 3, for game over. Simply horrible yet again, and this one's an S. And that's where this run ends, because Hamada requested her TNA release, and I'm not really surprised. That second half was painful to get through, it was like day and night. She probably wasn't happy with the opposition she was facing. Once again, the Knockouts title had to be vacated, so that's twice with Hamada as champion, so it's all her fault. I'm joking if you didn't realise, shut up or I'll smack you one. Hamada spent the rest of her career wrestling in Japan and Mexico, and she still wrestles today actually. In fact, she had a match this month. At the age of 41, you'd have to imagine she plans on not going for much longer. If anyone's seen her recently, let me know if her style is still high risk or if she's changed her ring style. All that's left to do is see if Hamada can do the JOB. The main negative is that she doesn't speak English, but I will say she still formed a connection with the fans, which is props to her and shows talent. She took a lot of risks in her matches and had a wide variety of moves. I really enjoyed like 3/4 of these matches. Now I'm going to be a bit controversial here. Just pretend she only had those first 15 matches. We'd be raving about her, right? But should I mark her down just because she spent the last 6 matches battling some of the worst women's wrestlers in TNA history? No, I don't really think that's fair. I think Hamada proved her point and showed what she had to offer. Nobody could have a great match with Lacey Von Botch. And I enjoyed making this video so much, and that's usually a sign that someone deserves a high grade. When you're watching wrestling like this, it doesn't feel like work. So Hamada can have the first day of Ring of the Hawk Season 3, and she is our current champion. The season isn't over yet though, and someone could still beat her, but I stand by this and think it's well deserved. And if you don't agree with that, I'll beat you to your last nerve.